Now as Ryan, Trenton, and Sean grab your attention towards the world of sports, food, and entertainment, and away from the things that are probably more important. We apologize for nothing and anything that may be spoken, learned, or forgotten today. This is the Real Tree Shaker Show. Hello and welcome to the Real Tree Shaker Show. We have a little new side segment called a Hot Wrapped. And today it's just going to be Ryan and Sean.
Hello.
Trenton is on assignment. So, yes, he asked for
Getting important info for us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
By any means necessary.
yes, of course.
All right. Well, how are we doing, my man?
Doing well. Really gearing up for football. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. It's tough because you get so committed to baseball, and then you got to get into football mode, and you kind of, baseball, I don't want to say it fades away. It never does, especially, when playoffs are on the horizon. But
well, and especially, the Atlanta Braves are,
of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's hugely important, but
absolutely.
But you really start watching a lot of football, and it just, I don't know, gets you hyped
it's something
for that.
On every single night, and it's
True.
just fabulous. Because who cares? No one cares about college basketball or the NBA and until what, May or before or the tournament for college.
Yeah, March is about the time people start caring. So
it's just an extended exhibition season to me.
Yeah,
So. All right. Well, the big news out of Major League Baseball, the soon-to-be most highest-paid player ever, Shohei Ohtani, has torn his UCL and his pitching elbow.
Yes.
And will not
Sad
pitch.
news.
Yes, will not pitch for the rest of the year, but can still hit. Ryan, what do you think the Angels should do with Ohtani?
Honestly, they're 10 games back of the wild card right now. I would shut him down for the year, get the surgery, and get him fixed up. And, it's tough for them because you wonder where he's going to go as far as being a free agent. Is he going to be gone? So, does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know if that's the best thing for him. Yeah, for him, for sure. But, for them, I think it would be the smartest move if they really plan on making him, the highest paid player. If that's what they're planning on offering him, then that's what I think you got to do. So,
well, I mean, just how much do you think that injury has cost him?
Oh, $100 million at least. I mean, the big money's in starting pitching. You look at, Scherzer and all these guys making
Cole.
$45 million a season. DeGrom, making the big money because they're starters, they're dominant, so that's where your big money's at. Your relievers are making about $10 million a season, maybe 15 if you're that dominant, but nowhere near starter level, so
and he's been
it's
better.
going to cost him some bucks. So
do you think it? Okay, do you still think he gets a 10-year deal?
Yeah, someone will sign him to it. Someone will pay him. Looking at the long run, it sells tickets too, puts butts in the seats. So that's one thing I think you have to look at too. Is that so?
No one goes to Angels games.
I know it's sad, but when he goes.
They showed a view of him at second base when he was holding his elbow as they were taking him out, and right behind him were two stands, and there were probably 5 people here.
I will say it was a double header on a Wednesday, so I mean, as far as that goes, I think that's a big deal because who's at a game at 1:00, especially it was 2:00, so it was noon on the West Coast, so. Who's there for a baseball game in Cali, at noon? So
Well, that's why I want to move there, so I can be that guy.
Exactly, right? Hey, early games too, 4 o'clock games, 5
That's
o'clock
what I'm
games.
talking about.
You get home at 8 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. You can wake up. No, well, okay, with me, I'm an hour ahead of you, right? So football doesn't start till 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't finish till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Imagine you wake up at 10 a.m. to watch football, whatever.
Yeah.
And you could watch all day and you're done by 8 p.m. So you can still go out and do something and then actually start paying attention to your family at that point,
It's weird because I feel like East Coast is, I'm not trying to discriminate against age, but it seems more of an older audience in the East Coast, like your more traditional older audience, and West Coast is young people. Should be the opposite.
Yeah.
Because East Coast should be the younger people that can stay up that late, that can sleep in and wait till 1 o'clock when football starts and can stay up past 1 a.m. in the morning to watch it. And West Coast could be the older crowd like us pretty much, and wake up at, 9 o'clock and
that would just be badass.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be cool.
California on my mind. But no, I think, okay, so you mentioned earlier that when Ohtani comes back, you think he should go to closer role?
That's what I would do. It's easy. It's, he did it in the World Baseball Classic, and, he's got the stuff. He can be a dominant pitcher, but that way you limit him to an inning every other day, every few days, and 60, 70 innings a season. Hey, he can do that,
Well, I mean, so because it's the second time that he's done this.
Yeah.
So that kind of is a little worrisome too, because I just picture him coming back and being like John Smoltz when he did that
Smoltz went back to starting though.
He did.
That was pretty impressive. So
I mean, you could, because he's got a build and it's a lot of throwing, and it's like pitchers just throw so many pitches, and it's like you said, he goes to a closer role 2-3 years, build that arm strength back up, and then he could still get you 40 home runs, 125 RBIs every
the
day.
issue is he's going to need a contract after this season, so that's is he going to tell a team that and say, oh, well, I'll just close games for you for a couple years or 3 seasons and then I'll be back to starting? Well, they're not going to give you $700 million on an assumption or on a 3-year plan, So that's one thing I think, I think it has to be in there, where a lot of teams may say, we're not taking the risk. So I don't know.
I hate seeing that. He plays hard. He is adored by everyone, and he's just so much fun to watch. And it's and which kind of sucked with the whole West Coast thing, like you were saying, the East Coast. By the time everyone is starting to go to bed, that's when he's been on TV. So not everyone has gotten the full Ohtani experience. But, lucky for me,
I'm interested to see what he has to say about the whole thing. He hasn't made any public comments yet, so I'm interested to see what his take on it and what he's going to say is, these are my plans, and if he's even going to disclose that. He may not, but I'd be interested to hear that.
Well, if it's meant to get out, it'll get out. Of what so. Clickbait.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, so do you think that takes any teams out of considering them? Because, it's a fairly minimal list as is.
Sure. I definitely think, your big market teams are going to throw the money at him, your New Yorks, your LAs, I could see Seattle trying to make a move for him, heavy, I don't really know that anyone else is gonna, I don't know, I definitely don't see a team like the Royals making a move for him, just They don't
have he would make them go bankrupt like A-Rod did to the Rangers,
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it maybe makes them think maybe we shouldn't sign him to a 10-year deal, but someone's going to give him a 10-year deal.
Sure.
He's going to get at least that, but maybe it makes them apprehensive on that.
And then they'll just pay him the Bobby Bonilla way.
There you go. $1 million for 30 years.
Some of I don't remember the list, but there are some players on there that are still getting paid, and it's like crazy.
Yeah, the Orioles kid, I can't remember his name. That's getting money.
Davis.
Yeah, Chris Davis.
Chris Davis. Yeah.
He had that huge contract, and he's still getting paid for it, which is just crazy to me. So I'm like, how? But I'm like, oh. So, but it is what it is. So baseball's got the money to throw around, it seems, for its stars. So we'll see what happens.
Ratings are up, attendance is up.
Right.
This pitch clock has really helped. So
yeah, getting those 2.5 hour or under games are playing a big role so far this season. So.
Sure, but I agree with you. I think he's going to stay West Coast. Quicker flight to Japan, so he can get home.
Sure.
I don't even know how long does it take to get to Japan on a plane.
I think it's like a 12-hour flight, so not horrible, but
that's a long time on a plane.
He probably gets a nice private plane regardless. So
sure
he buys out the whole plane.
I remember when I flew to England and like 3 or 4 hours into it, I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. And they have the little monitor on the back of the seat.
Yeah.
And it's got the U.S. continent and Europe. And we're like flying and we're like dead middle in the ocean. I'm like, all right, cool. When I wake up, we'll be closer. I took like a 2-hour nap and we're still in the middle of the fucking ocean. And I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. So, it doesn't seem like, you're that, you're over the water that much, but you are, it's like the oceans are big. So
yeah, I was just like, okay, please don't run out of gas.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Tokyo's a 10-hour flight.
10-hour flight? Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure exactly where he's from. There you go. Was that the UCL tear? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Oh, no, I'm kidding. That's so mean. I do feel bad for the kid. I like watching him play. I love watching him play. I love watching him strike somebody out, then hit a home run in the same game.
I mean, and the way he hits the ball, it's just different. Like it's got like a different sound.
Yeah.
Like someone had a headline. Ohtani hits one that sounds like a missile, and it did, man. And it's so smooth and easy for him. And it's just, that's, like you said, to feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah, sucks, man. But
yeah, well, speaking of sucks, let's go ahead and shift to the ESPN debacling, whatever you want to call that. With
the fallout.
The fallout, there you go.
Pretty much.
I mean, so I wrote just a few names down, but so in case anybody doesn't know, Disney owns ESPN, and they've been trying to cut $5.5 billion globally. So that's 4% of their workforce, and about 7,000 jobs. So,
and who makes the most money? The on-air talent.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what drives your ratings, and it's like since this ESPN's been on such a downslope that they've lost 25 million of their subscribers in the last decade. 25 million. And remember, ESPN used to dominate, and it was like nobody was even close to competing with them. But then Fox and
they've done a good job on their standalone apps, and that's one thing. ESPN, I believe by 2024, maybe 2025, they're just going to have a standalone app. You watch everything on the app, and I know we all watch a lot now, on the app too. But I'm that's how I have to watch ESPN. I don't have cable, so I don't or YouTube or Hulu Live or anything. So I have to watch it straight from the app. So
well, you don't need to watch it now.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can watch the shows I care about. You have to wait a day a lot of times to watch the shows. That's the only bad thing. But it's kind of weird that they have all these contracts with NBA, NFL, and you wonder what's going to happen with that. So I don't know.
Right, and then,
we'll have to see.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, like some of them are just mind-boggling, like Susie Colbert.
Yeah.
Diana Rossini, Todd McShay, Rachel Nichols, Jalen Rose. They got rid of Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy to what? Revamp the new NBA lineup? I mean, come on.
Crazy.
I mean, Wojo. They let Wojo go.
They got rid of him. Yeah. He did those little stories for usually college football
and
Saturday.
Yeah.
David Pollock. Speaking of that, I love David Pollock. I thought he was great. Couldn't believe they got rid of him. Was very disappointed in that.
Steve Young.
Yeah, I know, right?
Matt Hasselbeck, Keyshawn.
Yeah.
I hated that show. Not hate, but I
Which
couldn't
one?
stand that show. Keyshawn.
Yeah.
Will and Jay, or
yeah, it wasn't one of my favorite shows.
I don't even know if that's right. Yeah,
I think it is.
Jay Williams did good.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Jason Fitz, Rob Ninkovich, Neil Everett. That was heartbreaking.
I know. I was just like, what's going on where you're like, well, you're going to lose your guys that people recognize right before the NFL season starts. So it's kind of like, if you were going to do this, why did you do it now? Why didn't you say, okay, we're going to take the loss and maybe do it 2024 and start there, and at least keep these guys around. So now it's going to be a lot different having some of these guys. I'm surprised.
You're saying ESPN should be like the Mets and be looking ahead to 2025?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Eat the loss, just you're still $1 billion company, Disney still is. They're not, I know they've lost money, but they're not hurting. They're not like Disney World and Land's not going to shut down anytime soon. And
it would lower their prices a little bit. I guarantee they'd make up that cost.
Sure. Well, the thing is, people are still willing to spend it. So,
well, of course,
it's a little bit. Did you see? A Sage Steele was one we forgot to mention too. I don't know if you saw when she had left.
Sucks.
Yeah, she had actually filed a complaint. She was anti-vaccine, I believe, and she had filed a complaint because they wouldn't let her speak her mind about it. But she was a little upset. It was more of a political thing, really, with her. I won't get deep into it just because we don't do that. But she was pretty upset that she couldn't speak her mind, and
sorry,
she ended up having to apologize, and then she didn't really want to do that, and so they ended up buying out her contract. And
wasn't that like right after she had her baby?
Yeah. So.
Yep. Oh, we forgot Max Kellerman.
Yeah, Kellerman too. Yeah.
I'm sorry. When he was around the horn, that's when he was at his best.
Yeah, you're not a Stat Boy fan, a Reality fan?
No, I like Reality. I really do.
Yeah.
When that show, I liked Reality when he was with Tony and Wilbon.
Yeah, PTI when he was Stat Boy on PTI. Yeah.
Any errors?
It's sad because those were like my two favorite shows, and I don't get to watch them like I used to. I miss them.
Honestly, I mean, it's still. I watch those every once in a while, but I will definitely. I'll DVR them, but I never pick to choose them. But I'll definitely go PTI first.
Yeah,
all the time.
The problem is that a lot of the writers that they're younger people, and man, I guess it's true when you get old. Man, you become old and crabby. I don't know. Some of these kids, like I'm like, who? I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't need like. I watched an episode a few weeks ago, and I was like, who are these guys? Woody Page wasn't on there. I can't even remember who else I liked besides him.
Shohei Ohtani, Kevin Blackstone.
Yeah. Loved all those guys, and none of them were on there. None of them were on there, and I was like, I don't even know half these kids.
Frank Isola's on there all the time now. What happened to Jay Mariotti?
He got fired. He said some inappropriate things, and he got canned.
Okay.
So, and then a lot of it is so crazy too, because when the show started out, it was sports writers, right, who wrote for newspapers. Now those don't exist anymore.
I know
there are no more newspapers. So
I know
they write
That's
online.
What's crazy.
Everyone writes online, So the whole it's changed a lot, but yeah, ESPN. I don't know. I feel like you said it's just been a downfall of their entertainment, and it just hasn't been there in quite a while. So
I just think they tried to do too much. Like they tried to go too big because changed all their programming up, and it was I know things change. Like Mike and Mike, moving on, but Greeny's still there. I like Get Up. I like anything Greeny's doing.
Yeah, Get Up's not too bad. I'll check it out every once in a while in the morning, and it's a good show.
I won't even. I'll watch that over First Take, but that's just.
You're not a fan of Stephen A. Smith.
I like Stephen A., but it's just dude,
you love him. He's a Cowboy hater. Come on.
He just. It's just too much. Okay, you're talking sports, okay? And you're calling out people that, do things that you can't do. And how are you going to just, throw this stuff at them? And it's just tranquilo way. Tranquilo.
Yeah, I got to say, I do like when I see him, a show after the Cowboys lose a game or a playoff game, and Irvin's there too. And man, that was funny watching him and Irvin play off each other, So it's pretty entertaining. So, but I enjoy watching it every once in a while. But
then and then the ESPN pissed everybody off, and they added Pat McAfee. And they're cutting.
I don't mind that. I like Pat. I listen to his show, but
5 years, $85 million.
They're going to sign him to the big money. And
okay, so Susie Colbert, Diana Rashidi, Todd McShay, Rachel Nichols, Jalen Rose, you're fired, so we could pay Pat McAfee.
Yeah, pretty much. So
okay,
they got rid of a lot of their core just to sign a guy. So they're hoping McAfee brings the ratings. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know he's super popular, and he's definitely, I think he gets a younger audience, which is what ESPN's trying to do too. So, they're trying to gear towards that, but they sacrificed a lot for that. So we'll see if it's worth it.
And then they added, I was just disappointed when I was writing this list of departures, or however you want to say it. And I only wrote 3 people: Shannon Sharp, Doc Rivers, and Pat McAfee. So you got Shannon Sharp, who's just going to water and oil him and Stephen A. Smith. I could see that happening, And
it's going to be a temporary thing too. I don't think it's going to be a once a week, or I don't think he's going to be a permanent fixture.
Oh, okay.
On there from what I had read. So
yeah, and then Doc Rivers will be good in the regular season calling games, and then they need to take him off air when the playoffs start, because we know he was in the playoffs.
I do like Doc calling games. I do. I remember
Jackson
him doing
and
it. I thought
Gundy and
I like them too.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think Doris Burke's supposed to get a bigger role.
Yeah, Doris Burke is. Cool. I do like her too. I like her a lot too. So for sure.
Brown watches, he sets the screen and it goes baseline.
Right. What's a skip show called on FS1?
Undisputed.
Yeah, Undisputed. See, they're trying to. I mean, they've obviously been doing the same thing, but I know they have they are going to have, who is it? Lil Wayne, Michael Irvin, and someone else. I don't remember, but I was like, what? I was like, it's an interesting trio they're going to have doing that show. So,
I would just watch for Lil Wayne.
yeah, but I mean, it's going to be interesting because Skip's such a huge Cowboy. He loves the Cowboys, so him and Irvin are going to agree on everything.
Oh, it's Richard Sherman.
Sherman's the other guy, yeah,
and
Sherman.
Possibly Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, Fox is willing to pay up for some of those guys, and I know Fox has college football too in the Big Ten. I would get Pollock. On that show.
Absolutely.
For sure. He's a dude I would get. Heck, I'd get Todd McShay too.
Absolutely. Go get them all.
Yeah, I look a lot of these guys. I'm like, man, if I was Prime Video, I would get Susie Colbert because they need some help on Thursday a little bit. They don't really have that strong host. I don't feel that, with all the former NFL guys, I would get Colbert. Sure, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But we'll see what happens with it.
Okay. So let's stay on ESPN.
Sure.
I think I sent you that screenshot of the 2 Monday night games. Right?
Yes.
Weeks 2 and 3, ESPN, 2 games, 1 night. They make it sound all big.
They're competing again, yeah.
And it's week 2, it's Browns at Pittsburgh. It starts at 7:15 Eastern, and then an hour later, it's the Saints at Panthers.
Yeah,
at 8:15. Like, come on. I mean, like, how
they've done that the past couple years. They've had competing games because they don't want to keep it up too late. They don't want to. So this is the second or third year they've done this before. So
yeah,
surprisingly.
I know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if it's a stand like Sunday, I get, because that's a lot of games. You can't play them all 7 days of the week. You have to,
right,
for their safety. But have a West Coast game. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because the East Coast,
I don't get it
they
either.
can have their first game, right? They get the whole first game.
Yeah.
And so then the West Coast people are still at work, come home, catch the fourth quarter, and then people on the East Coast, when the late game, that's a good thing to lay in bed and watch,
Yeah.
And then the West Coast, you're finally home, you have dinner, and you have football to watch.
Yeah. It's weird because I believe that that Rams Bengals game in week 3 is in Cincinnati. So that's the reason why I'm thinking they're doing it. It's not in LA, they're not, none of them are West Coast games. So I don't know why they would. I would just do a 7 and 10 o'clock, or something, like you were saying.
Just have one game. It's
or have one. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
I don't know why.
I don't think you could play them on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't be fair to them. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, just start the freaking games at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You
How about that?
You could go 6 and 9.
Yeah.
And then you could get both games in.
How about that ESPN, that team 2 with Fowler and Riddick and Dan Orlovsky? The B team for ESPN. I'm wondering how they'll do.
I like Louis Riddick.
Riddick's cool. I don't mind him. I wasn't a fan of him on Monday night when he did it for that season before they got Troy and Joe Buck. I wasn't a huge fan. I was like, it wasn't great. But they had Booger
like
too.
Put that up
doing
there with the Dennis Miller.
Yeah. They've had a lot of failures on Monday night. A lot of them where you're like, Tony Kornheiser.
ESPN. Great job.
Remember when Kornheiser was a host and it was
Dennis Miller. I still can't believe that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was interesting times. So for sure. So you definitely don't see them try a stunt like that anymore. They don't just get an entertainer or,
right.
They get someone that's hosted a football game or that's played a football game. So,
well, I mean, Troy and Aikman, they're great. They do a really good job.
Buck and Troy do a good job on it. I mean, they've always been solid. So a lot of people rip them, but
I like when Buck does baseball, of course.
Sure. I'm wondering who's stepping in for Buck when the baseball playoffs start, because I think he's contracted to do some playoff baseball. So I'm sure he's going to have to do a game on a Monday night. So I wonder who's going to, I guess Fowler's going to step in maybe for him.
Chris Fowler?
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Since he's on the B team, the ESPN B team. So
that's
I'm
right.
going to guess it's probably Buck stepping in or Fowler stepping in for Buck during those nights. We'll have to see. So it'll be interesting.
I can't wait.
I know, me either. Looking so forward to it.
I can't wait for bullshit penalties and plays like
fantasy. Fantasy, come on. I mean,
I know I got a draft coming up on Sunday.
Oh wow, I've definitely got to get my stuff prepared. That's for sure. I've got to look at a few things, but I have my players in mind. We'll have to do.
What are you talking about? You said the other day that you do hundreds of mock drafts.
I do.
You're still not ready.
I do.
Just stop now, man.
Well, the problem is they're all the formats are all different. So, you got to do auction leagues like the one the one that we're in or salary cap leagues are just different. It's a different animal, especially when it's a super flex IDP league. It's different. Yeah. It's different from all the other leagues I have. So, that one's a little bit different. T's sleeper league was pretty similar to the other one I'm in, but you just second guess too. I will second guess way too much. So
well, at least you'll not be on auto draft when you make your selection.
Yes. One thing I will say I've always learned, and I've done this the past few years, is don't trust the ADP rankings or the site rankings. Make your own. So I know so many people that go by and they get in, the influence of that site will get them. And I'm always like, gotta create your own.
Yeah. It's all projections. Project someone over.
If you like this guy, take him over, even though he may be 5 or 6 spots below the highest ranked guy, take him because that's who you like. Get him.
Yeah, that's so that's when you're, doing your draft, you queue or queue, whatever, a bunch of players. Yeah. So that way, and because, like you said, don't go off of it because there's like a good one that I really like this year is Deontay Johnson for Pittsburgh, because he was I think the 30th ranked wide receiver and had no touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
So I think
who's going to have the better year?
That's a quiet, good offense.
Yeah.
I think Najee's going to have a bounce back year.
Pickens, I like for the value you get him later.
I think you're going to get close to double-digit touchdowns more with Pickens than you are Johnson. But I think Johnson will get more targets. But he drops a lot of balls, too.
He does.
And Pickens is a Hall of Famer.
I know, right? Great. Hey, best receiver ever. Randy Moss. Nah. But I will say this, the value for him is pretty good. So he's usually in the 35 to 40 receiver range, so you can get him pretty late.
Yeah, I would
six round. So
RB he wouldn't be your wide receiver one.
Nah,
a good four.
Yeah, good 3 or 4.
Good
3 if you needed it. So, but that's for another show. More fantasy talk.
Another show. Yeah.
Or another hot route.
Hot route. Yes. So well, Ryan, tell people about the social media thing.
So we are on everything. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. all search for Real Tree Shakers Show. You will find us, I promise. So maybe we'll drop a link for it at some point, or we'll learn how to do this technical stuff, and I can just wave my hands and flash it right in front of my face so people can see it someday. But for now, search us anywhere. Yeah. And on Spotify, listen to us, please. Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Google, Amazon, wherever you listen to your podcast, search Real Tree Shakers Show and you will find us too, I promise. So we love to receive feedback and hear comments and see ratings. Love that.
Yes, absolutely. And on Spotify, there's always a poll at the end of our episodes. Please participate. What do you think we should do for the next top 5? I think all of our listeners, like you said, are hungry after listening to us.
Maybe we try not to do food. I don't know. I was thinking sodas, but thinking that's not a food. I don't know. It's tough. Top 5 ESPN shows. I don't know. Can we do that? Yeah. From 1996. Okay, let's do it.
I don't know. We'll wait till T gets back from his assignment.
Hey, leave us a comment what you want the next top 5 to be. Let us know and we'll do it.
Yeah. And in 2 weeks we have our football. We'll probably try to do 2 normal episodes.
Yes.
And then we're going to do a lot of hot routes as the season progresses. So we will be having a lot of material coming out.
Yes.
Can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait for rapid fire. That's going to be a cool segment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to track the whole thing. So, and I think the loser should have to do something.
You're going to keep the receipts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right. How about the 1 chip challenge?
There you go. Hey, I would do it.
I would do it. I did it with my son, and he was. I'll have to.
Was it hard for you?
Yeah. But see, what he did, like, I was just like slowly chewing on it, and I made sure that I didn't get any on my lips or anything. He got it all on his lips, and he was just.
I would just eat the whole thing at once.
That's what I did. But make sure it's like. Yeah. You get it wide enough so you don't rub on anything. But I think we went through a whole gallon of milk, and we thought bread.
Oh my God!
We thought bread was going to help.
Yeah, bread does help. It didn't help y'all.
I guess because Jack would just be like, "Oh yeah, But.
Yes, we'll think of something to do for the loser on that for sure. Of our hot takes, no doubt. Leave us a comment and let us know what you want us to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well,